By the end of this video, you will learn the 7 most effective pickleball strategies to outplay 95% of your opponents, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced player. Let's break each strategy down by skill level so you can start winning more points, gaining more confidence, and playing smarter no matter where you are on your pickleball journey. Let's kick things off with a simple but powerful strategy. In the first few points of a match, don't stress about playing perfectly. Use that time to test your opponents. This isn't just about warming up, it's about gathering intel. Try throwing in some fast-paced shots like strong serves and solid third-shot drives. You're not looking to crush every point. You're checking to see how well your opponents handle pace. Does the ball come zipping back at you cleanly, or do they fumble a bit? That reaction tells you a lot. If they struggle with fastballs, you've just found a pressure point you can exploit all game long. And even if they handle it well, you now know what you're up against. Testing early also helps you mentally. When you go in with a game plan to simply observe, you relax. There's no pressure to be perfect right out of the gate. You're just swinging freely, gathering info, and figuring out your opponent's comfort zones before fully committing to a strategy. And here's a little bonus. If you find one player seems more rattled by pace than the other, that's your cue. Send more of your aggressive shots their way and keep them on the defensive. Not every strategy needs to be aggressive. Sometimes, the smartest thing you can do is slow the game down, especially if your opponents are the power-hitting type. When you're up against a team that wants to speed everything up and slam balls at every chance, the best counter is the turtle strategy. Play soft, calm, and steady. Return high and deep, serve with a gentle arc, and favor soft third-shot drops over drives. Once you're at the kitchen, resist the urge to attack every ball. Instead, invite them to make the first move. Let them take the risk. People who rely on power often hate this style. They get impatient, frustrated, and start overreaching. That leads to mistakes, balls going long, into the net, or poorly timed speed-ups you can easily counter. When dinking, try to land your shots in the front half of the kitchen. These short, low dinks are tough to attack, and if your opponents do try to attack them, be ready. Paddle up, shade slightly to your backhand, and wait to counter. Since they're doing the speeding up, you don't need to generate pace. Just meet the ball cleanly and redirect it. That's often enough to win the exchange. Let's step it up a bit with a more intermediate move, the no man's land trap. As you know, the most awkward place to be on the court is that space between the kitchen and the baseline. Most people rush through it because the angles are weird and the shots come fast. But what if you could keep your opponent there? That's the trap. Here's how it works. When your opponent is transitioning from the baseline to the kitchen, feed them a slightly higher ball than normal. 1, they'll be tempted to attack. The trick is, they're attacking from no man's land while you're at the kitchen. That puts you at a major advantage. From that awkward mid-position, their attack is more likely to go into the net or pop up. And since you're already up at the line, you can easily counter or finish the point. The genius of this strategy is that it flips the script. Instead of you being stuck in a bad position, you lure them into it. It's not flashy, but it's devastatingly effective when done right. Next up is a strategy that brings contrast and confusion to your opponents: fire and ice. This is a great way to keep them guessing and prevent them from finding any rhythm during the match. Here's the concept. One partner plays aggressive, fire, while the other plays defensive and soft, ice. For example, you might start the point with a high, gentle serve, pure ice. Your partner then follows up with a fast, aggressive third shot, pure fire. That contrast throws opponents off. They don't know whether to expect a blast or a dink, and that hesitation gives you the edge. You can use this contrast in every area of the game. One player resets from mid-court while the other looks to attack, or one player plays safe dinks while the other jumps on the first pop-up with a speed up. Want to take it up a notch? Switch roles mid-match. If both players can do both roles, you can swap, turning fire into ice and vice versa. That extra layer of unpredictability makes it really tough for your opponents to adjust. And yes, you can apply this in singles too, by alternating third shot drives and drops every time you serve. You're constantly breaking their rhythm, which gives you the upper hand, even without hitting harder. Now, let's move into some advanced territory with a mind game we like to call the bait. This one's about setting a trap and letting your opponents walk right into it. The idea is to make it look like there's an opening, then be ready to pounce. There are two common scenarios where this works beautifully. First, imagine you're returning a serve and purposely stay back longer than usual, giving the illusion that there's open space at your feet. Your opponents go for the drive, but your partner, who's already up at the kitchen, is in on the plan and ready to poach that drive. Boom, point secured. Second scenario, you're serving, and your team hits a third shot drop, but instead of both charging up, one of you hangs back a bit, just enough to tempt your opponent into attacking the gap. Meanwhile, the other player anticipates the play and crosses over to pick off the ball. This strategy plays on psychology. You make your opponents believe they're about to punish your team, only for them to fall into your perfectly set trap. It's risky, but when it works, it feels amazing. Now we're getting into surgical territory. The Angle Factory is all about creating extreme pressure on one player using sharp cross-court dinks. Here's the play. One partner commits to dinking cross-court again and again, keeping the ball low and angled toward the feet. This repetitive pattern does two things. First, it pushes your opponent wide, forcing them to stretch and often take the ball out of the air, which increases the chance of an error. Second, it opens up space for your partner to step around and either poach or go for an Ernie. Think of it as a funnel. You're shrinking your opponent's options and waiting for that one slightly high dink you can attack. And if they do try to dink back cross-court with pace, it's a tough shot to pull off under pressure. Just remember, keep those dinks landing in the back half of the kitchen to avoid giving them an easy ATP. With consistent angles and one teammate looking for an Ernie or middle attack, this strategy creates serious problems for even advanced teams. The key here is timing. Pull this move early in the match to set the tone. Show your opponents right away that you're not afraid to attack from unexpected angles. When you jump the corner and pull off an Ernie, it tells your opponents they can't safely dink down the line anymore. That immediately shrinks their options and forces them into tougher cross-court shots. Even better, the threat alone can be enough. They'll second guess every dink after that. For this to work, you and your partner have to be on the same page. When one player moves to poach or Ernie, the other has to cover the middle. The really advanced version? Start moving into Ernie position before your partner dinks to that side. Now the opponent sees you setting up before they even hit the ball, and the pressure mounts before they even swing. Just be ready. If they catch you hanging out near the sideline, they might try to tag you with the ball. Stay alert and quick on your feet. And this can be one of the most effective psychological weapons in your toolbox. And there you have it, 7 pickleball strategies that cover all levels. From beginner mind games to advanced tactical setups, pick one or two to try in your next match and see how it changes the way you play. As always, if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe. We've got tons more coming your way. See you on the court.